Okay. We are having a trouble going live on Facebook. I don't know why. But we are streaming on we're streaming. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Why you look froze? Um, hold on. Let me see what's going on. Are we live? Are we not live? Saying live has ended. It's coming up. No, that's not what I want. Lord Jesus. Help us. What is going on? Give me a second. I just want to make
Okay.
sure. Edit. Add it back. Remove. We probably waiting on us. We finna add it back. Save changes. Let's try it. What are they talking about? I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna get started because we are. What I'm trying to do, I don't know what the heck is going on with Facebook. Facebook that blocked me or something.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, sis, hold on. For some reason, Facebook will not let me go live. So they don't see us anyway. Don't worry. Just hold on. Let me see if I can figure this out.
Okay.
Give me a minute. Why is Facebook not? Here's what Facebook said. This user cannot create a live video. Why not? We are on YouTube though.
Okay.
Just so don't say nothing. Uh, edit. Why can't we go live on Facebook? Remove. Save. No. We are having some technical difficulties. I wonder, can I share the YouTube link on here? Cause Facebook, this how you gonna do me? You are not doing this to me today. Wait, what? Where's my So we are. Let me see if I can share because we definitely live on YouTube. So how can I share this? Let's figure it out. Oh, here we go. Share to my news feed. Just share this on Facebook.
All right.
Let me see if we there or not. We there. So let's just. Oh, we ain't doing nothing though. What we doing? There we go. If people tap it, hopefully they tap it. I don't know. You on your phone or your laptop, sis?
I'm on my laptop. I'm gonna share it to my
Okay,
story and to
so
my
so
page.
tell people to go to my. Let me. I'm gonna share with you the YouTube link because Facebook trying to block us from having this conversation. The heck?
We need this conversation.
All right. I'm gonna share this to your page.
Okay.
Let me see. We are about to have a conversation. You know, you guys, just a little chat about love. Technical, I don't know. They don't want us to have this conversation today, but we gonna have it anyway. Let me tag YouTube. We're gonna have it anyway. I don't know. Facebook don't want to let me do this live for some reason. Okay, it says it should be on there. So we're gonna get started. Hopefully people will somehow chime in. I don't know what's going on. If not, we'll always do the replay. You always you can always show it. Um, it's been a long day. Hello, everybody out there that is trying to watch, that's watching. This is Yolanda Gibbons, and this is a Let's Chat About Love. I think this is my fourth Let's Chat About Love, and we have an awesome conversation. We're having some technical issues with Facebook not letting us go live, so I'm gonna keep trying. I'm not sure why, but we're definitely on YouTube, and so share it. If you're watching from YouTube, please share the YouTube link. So we're gonna get right down to it. So this is Dionne Breeze Dyson. She is the CEO of Breeze Blings.
Hey,
And she got to be having this breezeism. Is that how I say it right? She
that's
be
right.
making these profound posts and comments and just sharing, knowledge and getting people feedback. And she made a post that said, when you're raised off love or not. And I'm like, that is a topic for discussion, most definitely, because I have to believe that there's definitely a difference when you are raised in a household with love versus when you're not. So I'm really going to pass it on to you and let you just share where you were even coming from, when you made the post. And let's talk about some of the comments that you got.
All right. So, um, I have been doing this thing called breezisms for probably about a year, a little bit longer, and they just basically thoughts and facts and ideas, things that I think about in my head or things that people should know or say. And kind of just, bring awareness to whatever the conversation may be. This particular day, I had a conversation that night before with someone, and we were talking about life and how we were raised.
Mm,
Um, so when I woke up the next morning, I was just sitting there like, I got my breezism for the day. It's just a random thought. It was just my thoughts, but I didn't know that it would bring about um, conversation or thoughts. But
right,
anytime you post something,
right,
it's always
right.
going to be something. So I posted the post, and I'll actually just read it back verbatim.
And
It
we do have
says,
people watching, just so you know. I've gotten a few
okay,
comments, so somehow they figured it out. I don't know what Facebook's doing.
good,
But
good. Welcome,
yeah,
welcome, everyone.
yeah.
So it said, people who were raised off love see things a little differently than those who were raised off survival. And I said, it's just my
Mm,
morning thoughts, But I did have a few people that commented on the post. I thought that was amazing. I always have people, voice their opinion. That's what make us different because we all have different thoughts, you
right.
know. So that was great. But I did have a young lady to get in my inbox and tell me um, that I was correct in that thinking because she was actually raised off survival. Both her parents were addicted to drugs. So
Mm,
instead of her getting the love and nurturing and care that she should have been receiving as a child, she was surviving. Trying to figure out how to eat, trying to figure out how to care for the younger siblings that she had. It was three of them total, so she had two younger siblings. And just basically trying to make it and go to school.
mm,
So, and I explained to her I was raised off both. I was raised off love and survival. And
mm,
that there is a difference because some people may say, oh, it's balance. You have balance. A lot of people have balance. A lot of
mm.
people don't have balance. A lot of
Right.
people have one or the other. They may have that love and they don't have um, that outside survival instinct. So they get into the world and things happen and they're not prepared for it. You know,
Right.
and then you have those that do have that survival instinct, and when love is presented to them or someone is trying to even hug them or show them some type of love, affection, or kindness, even they don't know how to receive it. So that makes a difference. It's a huge difference, coming from someone on my side, like I said, raised from love and survival, and then someone just raised off survival. um to even receive that love and care, friendships, it starts with relationships, building those relationships. If there's no trust there from the parents, It starts there. So how are they trusting their friends? How are they trusting relationships? How are they trusting any type of friendship along the way? It's hard. It's hard to receive that.
Right, 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 right. Obviously, I'm thinking love is, I don't know, got this platform going, and we are. If you just joined, you're just watching, having some technical difficulties with Facebook, but I see we got people watching, so I appreciate you guys figuring out how to listen in and comment, because this is, I think, a real important topic and discussion when you're raised off love versus when you're raised off just to survive. And there is a huge, I believe, a huge, huge difference in that. So, what do you think, Dionne? What does it look like to you? And those of you that watching, please comment. Comment. We want you to chime in, so we can have some dialogue. Hopefully, we can get the lioness on here. She'll be able to jump on because she had some great things to say on that post as well. But what does it look like to be raised off love? What does that look like?
Um, for me, to be raised off love is it's a wonderful thing. It's, everybody has issues in their family. Nobody's
Mhm,
family is perfect, but to be raised off love means supporting your children, encouraging them, nurturing them,
mhm,
taking care of them,
mhm.
picking them up when they down, knowing when to let them go when it's time to let them go. It's a lot, and it's not just one solid topic. It's under a huge umbrella.
Right.
You have to know when, and it's you don't know these things being a parent. Like, you're just not coming into raising your children and it's like, oh, I got the best parental experience in the world. You don't know that. It's trial by trial basis, and just knowing that and having an example um makes the difference, because if you don't have that example, you kind of struggle. It's not saying that it's not in you, because you want to do the best you can with your children, especially better than what you say your parents did. I'm gonna be better than what my mom and dad did, for my children.
Wow. We have a comment. Kia says, I knew my mom loved me, but she didn't tell me she loved me until I was grown. So growing up, I was seeking love everywhere from everyone else. So
That's
how
and it,
important is it important? Because I know there are a lot of us that grew up off love. Our
hmm
parents definitely, we know they loved us.
yeah,
The environment was loving, but some parents just didn't say. They just didn't say those words.
hmm
How important is it that we say to our children and just to each other that I
it's
love
very important.
you?
It's
Mhm.
very important. If you can tell somebody that you land up with and may or may not have your best interests at heart, may not be a lifelong partner, that you love them, tell your children that you
No,
love them. Tell
that
your
is.
friends.
Mm.
That's factual, because we toss that word love around so easily, and it's like nothing, for some people. And when you land with someone, it can definitely confuse love with the lust. So I feel like if you can tell those partners, those friends with benefits, um, your friends, you could definitely tell your children, and it means so much to them. Just imagine how you feel when your parent says, I love you, I'm proud of you. That makes a world of a difference to a child, as well as an adult.
So why is it, and this is just a question, we don't necessarily have the answer to it, but
Yeah,
why is it that in a romantic situation it is so easy to say I love you versus saying I love you to your children? Because you're
because
right.
you confusing that with the affection or the attention that you have already been seeking, that you had not been receiving. And it's definitely confusing to people, um, because you want that. Everybody wants love. Everybody wants that attention. Everybody needs that time, affection, attention. We need that. It's nurturing. It's life, you know. But when you are, if your parents never told you that they loved you, it may be hard for you to tell your children. You know,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people cannot express themselves openly and affectionately towards they their kids, um, they family members, they mates, you know, their parents. You know, it may be a lot of confliction that's there, but it's definitely important because it helps develop those children when they know that they're coming from a loving, nurturing, and safe environment.
Say,
That
yeah,
is important.
yeah,
Safe.
yeah. Ashanti says my dad only told me he loved me when I was in my late 30s. So let's talk about um the difference.
Yeah.
How does being raised off love versus being raised off survival, how does that play out in our adult lives?
I think that that's very important with the adult life. Again, it goes back to nurturing those relationships because
Mhm.
as adults, you want to be able to have a healthy relationship moving towards maybe marriage or long-term commitments or relationships even within yourself. So that is very, very important. So like I said, when you were with that survival technique, a lot of times they don't know how to receive that love. They don't know I'm loving you genuinely.
Mhm.
It may be what you want from me because
Mhm.
I'm trying to protect myself, you
Mhm.
know, or I'm out here just trying to make sure that I'm good because they always in survival mode, you know.
Mhm.
And I think that a lot of times from the young lady that I talked to after that post, she
Mhm.
said, I can never relax. She said, "My mind is always on
Mhm.
because I'm always thinking, that is something like, what's my next move? What's my next move?" And I said, "So you never comfortable? You never can just chill? Your mind is never at ease?"
Wow.
And she was like, "No." She was
Wow.
like, and I've been out of that like that life for so long, but you know, she said that she pushed so far at 16, 17 to make sure that the kids were good as growing up. And
Mhm.
then she left home, you know,
Mhm.
and just like I need to take care of me. So now it's like it's me, me, me. You know,
Wow. So Gwendolyn says the parents can only give out what they were given.
yeah,
So we're repeating.
yes,
We're
that's it.
repeating
I
repeating
agree
these
with that.
cycles. Yeah.
Yes,
And we got
yes,
to learn, to break some of these cycles. That's crazy to think that, man, she could never relax. What?
that she can never relax. She's in her 30s now. She said her mind is constantly going. She's been away from, you know, the household. She left home at like I think she said she was almost turning 18. And so she's in her 30s now, but she said her mind is still going. Like she's constantly thinking about what's the next move. Like, you know, I got to make sure that I'm good with money. I don't want my lights turned off. I got to make sure I got enough food to eat because they struggle with food, you know. And I
Mm,
know a lot of people that have been there, you know, and I've never been there. You know, it's
mhm,
I've spoken to people and I'm like, yeah, I don't know that life. You know what
mhm.
I mean? Like
Right.
my mother worked,
Yeah.
your mom was on drugs and she
Mm,
said her mom she didn't work, so she had money every now and again coming in, you know,
right.
so they were figuring things out. But then I do know other people that parents did use drugs and worked, you
Mhm.
know. It's functional, so it's dysfunctional but it's still functional for them,
Right.
you know. So I
Right.
guess, you know, you just kind of manage, you figure it out. That survival instinct may kick in and it never turn off, you know.
Wow.
It may never turn off. They may not know what the off switch is,
Right.
you know.
Right. Right. Absolutely. I mean, to think to be in the mindset, because I don't know that life either.
Yeah,
Not that I've had a perfect life or a perfect childhood, but and I'm definitely a grinder.
yeah,
I'm gonna make it happen.
exactly.
Always, but I don't know what that's like to be like in survival mode. And yeah, because I've never worried about what I was gonna eat.
Yeah,
I never worried about a roof over my head, even as an adult. I mean, I've had moments, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But the reality is I've always been in a place where I can go somewhere. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
There's always somewhere for me to go, somewhere for me to eat,
Yeah.
but there is some good qualities that can come out of being in survival mode.
Absolutely.
There's definitely a grind that you have, and you're not as lax. So
Mhm.
what I mean by lax, so you don't have the opportunity to kind of be lazy or
Yes.
procrastinate,
Right.
versus maybe a person that was a little spoiled.
Yeah.
Everything
That's
came
what's today.
easy,
The children are
yeah,
spoiled today. They
yeah,
don't know about that grind. They don't know. They think cable is how the cable or the TV is
right,
supposed to work. Well, we have to pay for that. So if
right.
it's not being paid for, there's no service. You know, they learn differently than what we learned when I was growing up. We did a lot of household learning, Scrabble.
Mhm,
My mother was just talking the other day about having Scrabble in the house.
mhm,
Literally, we played Scrabble with those little tiles and
mhm, mhm.
coming up
Me
with
too.
words and
Mhm.
stuff like,
Yeah, me
you
too.
know, and my mother constantly challenged us,
Mhm,
constantly challenging us, constantly
mhm,
saying, well, what does this word mean?
mhm,
What if it use it in a sentence? And I'm like,
mhm.
next time, come back with
Right,
it. But these days, it's like now we can go to Google, we can ask Alexa, we can ask Siri, what's going on. And the kids do not know. They can't even have a phone conversation.
right, right,
Etiquette is a must.
right.
Communication is a must. And it goes back to your customer service skills. Even when you see these children working in this industry these days, going to fast food restaurants, no customer service skills.
Right,
They don't know how to communicate.
right,
So
right, right. We had someone to say, Leslie says our parents are are examples.
yes.
I think, even when we don't, as a parent, you don't realize that your children are absorbing, what they see, what you do, and you be like, well, hey, mom, I thought that was okay because that's what you did, or that's what you allowed,
Yeah.
or that's how you function. So
I'm watching you and I'm taking notes.
right, 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 right.
Mhm.
Then Tina says you learn in survival mode. I'm thinking she's talking about you learn to depend on self and not
Mhm.
other people.
That's correct. I
Yeah,
agree with that. I agree
yeah.
with that. It's a good thing. It's a good trait to have because um, you definitely want to be able to be independent. That is the goal from childhood to adulthood. Um, the goal is not to live with your parents at 50 and 60 years old, unless you having to move back to take care of them, but never
Mhm.
leaving the house and never experiencing life. That's not the way of life. I would say that.
Right,
So you definitely want to be able to be independent and not dependent. But as far as receiving that love, that's basically where my topic was coming from, as far as receiving the love and knowing that you're being nurtured in the home and having the support that you have from, if it's one parent or two. I didn't have both parents in my house. I had one
mhm,
parent, one grandmother. you know
mhm,
so
mhm,
in
mhm,
that aspect of things, I had to figure things out, as far as, okay, some people had their dads, I didn't have my father. So
mhm.
am I missing something? Am I lacking something here? I'm sure
Mhm.
that I probably have been,
Right,
was, because
right,
kids need both parents.
mhm,
Not saying that it can't happen. Many times it has happened. But I definitely think that those influences in those children's lives makes the difference.
right, absolutely. Because these young people, they on survival mode.
Yeah,
Man, they
yeah,
are on survival mode like
definitely.
100.
Hmm.
And it's so I wish I could pour love and give them that love and so they can kind of balance it. I heard you say balance, even if you can
Yeah,
have some sort of balance.
yeah.
But to not I can't imagine not knowing love at all.
I would rather, and that goes even with loving your mate or your person. I would rather have to love than to not at all. So it's to me, I think that um for those people that have not received the love, um, I think that it's definitely something that you should start trying to do with the children. If you haven't already, sit down with your kids, homework time, you know, talk to them more, spend some time with them, and let them know that you love them. You may have never gotten that, but get up some courage and go to your kids and be like, look, I love you. You know,
Right, right,
it's
right.
okay. It's okay to be expressive, especially, they've taught the men not to express themselves, not to cry, not to show any kind of emotion. They should.
Right,
They should definitely show those kind of characteristics because it's very important with what's going on in life today. Why they are so cold and why they're, they just don't have any kind of expectations, towards the future or anything of that nature, but it's in them. They looking for a reason for it to just come out, you know.
right,
Show them that love, show them that attention and that affection.
right. Well, we're definitely somebody says it definitely makes a big difference. We're hoping Linus is she trying to get
Yeah.
on here. We want to hear her. She is really, really trying. Somebody says we need to go back to Sunday dinners.
I agree. I love Sunday dinner.
We need to go back to having Sunday dinners,
Yeah.
where the family kind of get together. I know we don't have, because I'm a grandmother, and no, I'm not a big mama.
Mhm.
We don't have like big mama,
Yeah.
everybody at grandma's house, and we don't have that in a lot of situations, but that does not mean that that same type of nurturing, same type of love cannot still be happening with our generations that are up under us, our children and grandchildren and great grandchildren, nieces and nephews, and kind of bringing them all together. And we know with everything that is going on, somebody said, "What's on the menu?" You know what's on the cornbread,
Cornbread,
greens.
greens, cabbage,
Well,
chicken,
we're gonna come in 2022. We're gonna have grilled chicken and salad.
asparagus,
We're gonna have salad and
garlic mashed potatoes.
yes. So we're coming in 2022. We're gonna eat healthy. We're gonna eat some health.
I mean, I want my greens, cornbread, collard greens at that. Okay. Dressing, turkey, smoked turkey, deep fried turkey, macaroni and cheese, yams, cabbage, and banana pudding. Okay.
Right. We want all that. We want all that. But it is important to with everything that's what I was going with everything that's going on in the world, man. You know, love is just so important. And we have got to, I said it on my last live, that we have got to begin to let our young people in. Somebody said we need that soul food.
Yes.
Yes, that whole movie, that whole movie. She sidetracked me, Gwendolyn. You sidetracked me. That whole
Hey,
vibe
Gwen.
of that movie. You're right.
Yeah.
That whole family, a family of love, definitely a whole full of
Dysfunction.
dysfunction.
That family had dysfunction.
We
They
said at the same
That's a real
time.
family. It's a real family because
Mhm,
things do happen, and it's not like, oh, everybody got this perfect family. No, somebody gonna
mhm,
argue with somebody
mhm.
gonna be mad at somebody gonna be happy. Something is gonna be going on. But the point is, as a family comes
Right.
together, that
Family.
family support system,
Mhm.
hold your family down.
Right.
There's no compassion these days with
Right.
people. We need to
Right.
bring that back. Like, it's okay to not be okay.
Right.
It's okay.
Absolutely.
It's okay not to be okay.
Absolutely.
And I think that
Absolutely.
people need to know that it's okay not to be okay, and
Right.
to be able to voice that,
Mhm.
that you're not doing okay. If
Yeah.
I
I'm thinking about even myself today. It's funny, and 'cause I always tease people. I'm like, "Girl, you talking about my Facebook live? What?" Because people get caught up in social media. I believe social media is so important because we have this way we reach a lot of people. For a
yeah,
lot of us, is how we stay connected with our families that may not be close. So I love it. I mean, of course, as an entrepreneur and a business owner, we absolutely love it. But there are some great positives too, social media. But I even know for me how people always think I'm okay.
yeah,
Like they are the idea of me not being okay. I don't even think cross a lot of people's mind, and it's probably my fault, um, in that. But I am even more and more now uh, allowing myself to say, "No, I ain't okay.
Yeah,
I'm a
as you
need.
should.
I'm not okay. Don't think because I'm keeping it going, or you may see it's like I'm still moving. That does
Yeah.
not mean that I'm necessarily always okay. And there are things going on inside me emotionally,
Yes.
which really affects everything else. So
Hmm.
you're right. It is definitely cool to not be okay sometimes.
And check on your strong friends. Your strong friends um have things going on too, and we empty out because I am a strong friend.
Mm-hmm.
So we empty out, but we need refilling.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to have our cup refilled too. So, but check on your strong friends, even outside of yourself. If you got something going on, be mindful sometimes if somebody's on your mind, and just reach out to them and say, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about you. I know I'm struggling over here today too, but I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking about you today." You
Mm-hmm.
know, treat
Mm-hmm.
somebody to a cup of coffee. Give
Mm-hmm.
them a little $10 Dunkin' Donut card, or cash up them a little something and say, "Hey, lunch on me." You just never know how far that little bit of kindness can go for
Mm-hmm.
someone. And
Right.
even with your children, do that with your kids too.
Right. And you said a really key word is compassion.
Hmm.
Having some compassion for people
Yeah,
and just right, being a little bit more compassionate about because I mean it's tough. This
yeah,
this world we living in is tough and there's so
yeah,
many things going on and even the best of the best people and we ain't gonna shift to the Oscars, but
yeah,
I think that is a good example of that was a public thing, and here it is, all these people, celebrities, rich people, and to see Will Smith, that whole scenario, uh, and there are jokes about it, we laugh about it, nobody
yeah,
understand it, there are different opinions and comments, but one thing's for sure is that a little love could be put up in there and you don't know what people are going through.
yeah. We
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 don't
we,
know.
we saw him being human,
Yeah, we saw him being
reacting
human
him
and we don't
emotion.
know what his survival
Hmm.
his need to be on survival mode has been over whatever the last several years, and it could have been a situation where he just yeah
Yeah, had enough.
I tapped out,
Yeah,
I tapped out. I got somebody said I did with the same thing. And the people always think, oh, Gwendolyn saying people always think I'm good. That's because we're the strength in our atmospheres and everybody depends on us. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
But we got to spread this love thing around, you
Yeah,
know.
and take some of the weight off, because a lot of time, like, spread it around and get some of the weight off yourself, and it's okay to unload. It's okay to say, I can't. It's
Mm-hmm,
okay to say no,
mm-hmm,
because people will constantly drain you.
mm-hmm,
And I always say, you know, takers have no limits.
mm-hmm,
Givers have to set boundaries.
mm-hmm,
So takers will continue to take, take, take. You've never heard a taker say, "Don't give it to me."
mm-hmm,
Never. So givers have to set boundaries. They have to be like,
mm-hmm,
"No, I can't this time.
mm-hmm.
I'm
Right,
sorry, I gotta put me first,"
right,
and see, let the other person say, "Okay, I understand," or they gonna be like, "What the fuck?" I mean, what's she talking about?
right,
What you mean? You
right.
can't. So
And and going to our topic, I think not all the time or with in every situation, but when you talk about the takers, they in survival mode. You know what I'm
all the
saying?
time.
When you talk about that person that's kind of raised off love, they're giving and giving and giving
Excuse me.
and
Yes,
giving and giving. You know what I'm saying? And I
giving and
think a
giving and
person
giving,
that's in survival mode, there are
taking and
many that they
taking.
don't even realize you just
Yeah,
taking
yeah,
because that's and many times all they know. I got to get it while I can get it.
yes. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Get it while I can get it. And it isn't that the truth. Takers have no limits. But when you think about it, I can see a taker just being in survival mode. You know what I'm saying? I gotta
Yeah,
get mine and get what I can and not even think twice about it
yeah.
because they're in survival mode.
Yes. I think that at the end of the day, we all human, and we all looking for something. Even the people that has had the love, has had the survival, has had the balance of both. We all looking for something, and at the end of the day, that's love. And we want to be able to give and be able to receive that equally. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
um, but it's hard. It's hard sometimes.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
it's really hard. But the to be able to receive it, or to be able to extend it to your children, like Gwen said, and like I've said, you can only do what you know or have led by example, or
Right.
try to be the best version of what you know at that point moving
Right.
forward. you know
Right.
so I didn't
Right.
have this. I spoke to a guy last night, and he was saying, how do you know when you're being a good dad if you never had an example? you know
Right.
and I was like, well, I'm not a dad, I'm not a guy, but I think that for some guys, they want to be able to do what they didn't have, and that's with any parent. So now they're trying to be the best parent, father they can be, but still making those mistakes along the way, and
Mhm.
that's just life. We can only do what we can do as a
Right.
parent. But you have to
Right.
learn, you have to do something different. And by him doing something different with his children will do something different with their kids.
Right. Right.
We
Got to
definitely
start somewhere.
gotta
You know what I'm
start
saying?
somewhere.
You know better,
Mhm.
you do better. So as we know better, as we begin to understand that the balance between surviving and love, that we as adults,
Yes,
overgrown adults,
right.
begin to try to make some shifts and make
Hmm.
some changes, and then throw that back to our children and grandchildren, or to kind of reach
Yeah,
back and be like, hey, I ain't do this right, but let me kind of enlighten you so that you can do better, and really having conversations about it.
yeah, that's very important.
Yeah.
I tell my friends, my close friends all the time, I love them because even in the day that we living in today, tomorrow is not promised. Like the
Right.
hour is not promised in these
Right.
days. So
Right.
I want you to know, like, I even if I'm saying like, okay, I love you, sister. You know, it's not
Mhm.
like you don't know. I
Mhm.
love you,
Mhm.
friends. I'm telling my friends, like, I love y'all. Like, you need to know that. So if anything, God forbid, was to happen, they know that where I was or where I stood, in my life to them, and vice versa. But this is very important. But again, a lot of people cannot express that, and even if they do, it's just another word like hello, love you.
Right.
That's
Right.
it. You just can't just say
Right.
I love you,
Right.
and so yeah,
Right. So, I mean, we could go on and on and on,
yeah.
but I promised that we would limit this to 30 minutes or so, because we got cocktails in the kitchen coming up.
Cocktails in the kitchen.
Um,
Cocktails in.
and we a team, you know what I'm saying? We
That's
family, we're
right.
a team, we work together, we're supporting one another. So I really appreciate everybody that have chimed in and watched. And I don't know, I think Facebook got mad at me from earlier. I think that's what happened. But the great thing is we still live, people still chimed in,
Yeah.
and we have this to show over and over again. And we talking about when you're raised off love, or raised off that whole survival mode, and what that difference and what that balance is. And so, Breeze, I'm gonna let you give us, your final words about this particular topic. What are your final words?
Um, my final words will be, um, show a little kindness. It's okay to be nice. It's okay to say hello. Love comes in different forms, fashions, and we have to bring that back in order to be good amongst each other, amongst people. So my final comment I would say is, stop trying to make people love you the
Mm,
right way
mm.
if they're the wrong people. Okay.
Right.
So stop trying to allow the wrong people to love you the right way. Get the
Wow.
love from the people that you need to be loved from. Don't confuse it.
Wow.
Because it can show themselves and it be an ugly manner, but you definitely need that love and support. And like I said, it's okay not to be okay.
Wow, I love that. Thank you, thank you,
Thank
thank you,
you.
thank you, thank
Thank
you
you for
so
having me.
much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm gonna my final is gonna be that balance. I want us to definitely share love, look into our own homes and our communities, our tribe, and see if there's a way for us to share a little bit more love. But in having this conversation, it also made me think about, let us not be quick to judge that person that's in survival mode. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? Because they got that from somewhere.
Hmm.
And some of their behaviors, which may not be what we may think is the best behaviors, come from where they've came from. If
Exactly.
it's an opportunity for us to pull them, you
Love
know,
on them. Love on them
embrace
even
them,
harder. Yes.
love on them,
Yep.
let us do that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Let's share this love. Thank you guys. I'm gonna let you sign. I'm gonna take Breeze off because I want to end for a minute. I'm gonna take Breeze off. I always like to end with something from my book. And yes, y'all got my book. Uh, Go get my book if you don't. Let's chat about love. But in my book, it says, to have an enriched life, one must love, one must love oneself. Learn to love God and allow God's love to reign supreme within, and understand how important it is to show love to those close to us and even those that are far away. So we need to share some love. All right, y'all. So before I end, it's only befitting that um, I is it come to a close of, and I'm trying to get this. I'm the tech person in all of this, but today we are at the end of Women's History Month, and it feels like it makes sense that today we celebrated the life of Michelle Love Joy, who was, some of you guys that are watching, many of us called her Mom Michelle. She was a bonus mom to many of us, and she was the mother of someone close to me, Demetrius Lovejoy, and of course his siblings. So I just want to say too, she was definitely a woman that made history. She left a legacy. She left her smile. She left her sweet spirit, and she left um, that love. All of her children and all of the people there spoke today on how much she loved them and how much she shared that love with them. So I want to leave this live by saluting Michelle Lovejoy.